Welcome to Fortress of Faith with Tom Wallace, calling North America to repentance and revival.
Welcome back to the Corner of Truth and Courage. This is Tom Wallace. This week we're talking about a subject I've entitled A Case for an Islamic AntiChrist. If you missed any of our broadcasts, you can always re-listen to our broadcast on our website, fortressoffaith.com, fortressoffaith.com. We're also on Spotify, and we're also on YouTube. So if you subscribe to those channels, you can get our broadcast there on your time. You don't have to wait for it on the radio. But again, if you miss any of the broadcasts, you can go to those places and re-listen. And also, if you find them interesting and helpful and challenging, send them to your friends and share Fortress of Faith with them as well. All right. Well, we've laid out two different arguments there. And again, let me get into this because I believe it's important. You know, we need to be dogmatic on some things. Some things we need to be, very, very sure and unrelenting in our belief. Where God is clear, you be clear. Where God is vague, be a little bit more gracious. Come to your belief, be firm on it, but be gracious when people have a different view. Because actually, you might come to find, you know what? I think what I believed before is incorrect. And what this person has shared with me has helped me to see clearly things. And so maybe on this subject, I might win a friend or two. I might lose a friend or two. Maybe. I hope I don't lose you as a friend. But, if I am wrong and hey, well, here's where you're wrong, and here's why you're wrong with your, speculation of this. Do share with me on that, and I wouldn't mind reading that if it is given in love. Okay. All right. So we've talked about the first, what I call my biblical argument. The term Antichrist, although we use it to describe a man, a person, the Bible does not. The Bible uses it to describe a teaching. And the Bible's clear in 1 John chapter 2, verse 22, he that denieth that Jesus, he that denieth the Father and the Son is Antichrist. So it's not just the denial of the deity of Jesus Christ, it's also denying that God is the Father and that Jesus is the Son of God. There's only one religion in the world that fits that teaching, and that is Islam. It is a major tenet of the doctrine of Islam. Allah hath no son. He neither is begotten nor begets. It's repeated on the Dome of the Rock, north, south, east, and west, to tell the world God is not a father, and God is not a son, and nor does he have a son. And so it's saying to us Christians, you don't have the true God. Well, if you deny that, then you are of the spirit, the teaching of Antichrist, according to the Bible. Okay? Then we laid out another biblical argument that the city in Revelation chapter 17, that great whore, fits better to Islam than it does to Rome or any other city. We're just skimming some of the parts of that verse. We're told in verse 18 that it's a city. We're told that in verse 1 that the Antichrist will rule from there. We're told that it has 7 mountains and that it's in the wilderness, and that it is tied to the mystery of Babylon. All those points lead us to a city that is more fit to identify this city, the city of Mecca, in Saudi Arabia, the home of Islam, than it does to fit, for example, the city of Rome. Rome is not in the wilderness. Rome does not have 7 mountains. it has hills, and so we know that that Mecca has 7 mountains. I actually witnessed that when I was there. You could easily see that from photographs and from Google Earth and all that type of stuff there. It is certainly in the wilderness, and it has a tie to the mystery of Babylon, as we talked about it earlier. And one thing I didn't get to share, I ran out of time, about the city. The Kaaba, I was talking about that black stone. They believe that Adam and Eve descended from heaven. They sinned in heaven. Islam teaches original sin happened in heaven, and Adam and Eve came down. And this is the birthplace of humanity. And so inside that Kaaba, and I'm trying to be delicate in the way I say this, because we're on the radio here. It's the casing that the black rock is put in is designed to look like a female reproductive part. I'm just going to try to leave it there, okay? And the inside of it has not always, but it has been adorned in red velvet, signifying the womb of the world. This is where, so the womb, a female, the whore, all that, the Bible refers to it as the whore. And so we know that this city, the great whore, is going to be the city that the Antichrist will rule all nations from. And again, if my speculations are correct, and my case is correct that he'll be an Islamic Antichrist, it would not be a big thing to us to attach him to the city of Mecca, which is the home of Islam. Let's move on to my third argument. My third argument is more circumstantial, and yet has a lot of Bible with it. Revelation chapter 13, we have the teaching of the beast and the second beast. The first beast, this is the man that we often call Antichrist. Again, the Bible doesn't call him that. The Bible has other words for it. The man of sin, the man of perdition, the wicked one, and so on there. But never is he biblically called Antichrist. But he'll come, he'll come as a world political leader. He'll rule the world. And later on, he'll demand people will worship of him. But he comes with someone else. And that someone else we call the false prophet, from verse 11 onwards there. And this person controls the religion. Now, why do I call this circumstantial evidence? Well, circumstantial, that Islam also teaches the same thing as Revelation chapter 13, except they have a different viewpoint about it. The Antichrist, or the man that we call the Antichrist, they don't see him as the Antichrist. They see him as the Mahdi. Islam teaches that there'll be 3 people who will come and will make war with the Antichrist and with Israel and will bring destruction to Israel. And the political leader will be known as the Mahdi. Now, you got the Sunnis and the Shiites, and they might have varying different ideas of who is going to fulfill that role. But basically, the Mahdi will bring destruction to Israel, and he will make war with someone who will claim to be the Mahdi. They call him the Dajjal. So the Dajjal will show up claiming to be the Mahdi, the Messiah, and they'll make war with him. And but that actually is Jesus, our Jesus, who is truly the Messiah. But then there's that second person who deals with the religion, that false, we call him the false prophet. In Islam, they refer to him as Isa. They believe that Isa is Jesus. They believe Jesus is going to come again, but he'll not be the Mahdi. He'll not be the political leader. He'll be the religious leader, and he will bring the world to the true religion, the religion of Islam. And so although this is circumstantial, that Islam has similar teachings, our concern isn't really based upon what Islam teaches. But isn't it also interesting that if I'm correct, if my speculations are correct, that the Antichrist will be Muslim, that Islam has been teaching these very things for centuries, that the Mahdi will come and he will make war with the Dajjal, a man who'll show up who claims to be the Messiah. And but he is not Jesus. No, the real Jesus will be the one who brings the religion of the world under the teaching of the Mahdi. And so now I have another logical reason that I want to throw out that is circumstantial. And the circumstantial side of it is quite obvious. Isn't it reasonable to see that the only person who could really bring peace to the Middle East would be a Muslim? After all, the big issue, that the big problem in the Middle East is what Muslims have with Israel. And Israel has tried on many, many fronts to say, let's have peace. We'll give you land for peace. We'll do this for you for peace. But please, let's have peace. Israel has been interested in having peace with its neighbors for 70 years, ever since it's been a nation, returned back to its ancestral lands. But the only ones who are not interested in it are Muslims. And so it seems to reason that only a Muslim could rise up and say, okay, let's have peace with Israel. And so, again, I've given you a biblical argument so far. I've given you a circumstantial evidence and a logical case. And tomorrow when we come back, I'm going to really go out on a limb. Does the Antichrist have a face today? And if he is a Muslim, who would that be? Is there someone out there that you think could fulfill that role? Well, I'm going to go out on a limb tomorrow, and I hope you'll join us, because I'll name a person who I don't believe is the Antichrist necessarily, but he would be the perfect candidate of fulfilling the role of someone who could be the Antichrist. So join us again tomorrow at the corner of truth and courage. God bless you. Journey through history and prophecy in an unforgettable tour of the 7 churches of Revelation. Join me and my wife, Natalie, this November as we explore the ancient wonders of Istanbul, Ephesus, Laodicea, Smyrna, Philadelphia, Pergamos, Thyatira, and much more. Witness breathtaking biblical sights and experience the land where faith was tested and history was made. Spaces are limited. Go to our website, fortressoffaith.com, and reserve your spot today.